everyone, and welcome to another webinar session here at IDC Win. We're joined today with our partners over at CPP Foresters, and we have another great presentation established for you guys today, looking over some of their term rates and also doing a live demo just to show you how easy it is to apply for insurance. I'm your host today, Brett Medland. I'm a business development executive here in Southwestern Ontario. We're going to be joined by Zainab Sheikh with CPP Foresters, who is an excellent partner and resource to IDC and all of our advisors across Ontario here. And she's also joined by her inside wholesaler partner, Glenn Secord. Zainab will be giving the presentation. Glenn will be handling the Q&A in the background. So if you do have any questions, I do encourage all of you throughout this presentation to use the Q&A, which again is found at the bottom of the screen for all of you guys. They're here to answer these questions for you in a timely manner, but also to connect with you after this session. Before I turn it over, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items again. So this session today is CE accredited. And just a reminder that our Quebec advisors, and only the Quebec advisors have to do it. It looks like a fun survey to do, but you don't have to if you're not in Quebec. But the Quebec advisors, please do fill out that survey. You'll see 2 pop up throughout the session, and that'll earn you your CE credits. Again, everybody will be muted, so I do encourage you to use the Q&A function. But now I'm going to turn it over to Zainab and Glenn to talk us through some of the amazing product and tools they have to keep our business going. So Zainab, over to you.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you so much, Brett. Good afternoon from wherever you may be joining us across the country today. I'm just sharing my screen, so hopefully you can all see my screen right now. So today it's going to be a jam-packed 1 hour, so I've got a lot to bring to you. I'm going to give you a presentation, first of all, is really going to focus on our term portfolio. We have completely repriced it as of 20th of January, and in some instance, we've lowered our prices up to 14–15%. You will find us in the top 3 in Life Guide or WinQuote or whichever quoting tool that you do use. So those of you that have some term clients on your books, take a note of them and, reach out to them. Because you'll be surprised at how great the rates are at Foresters Financial. Then right at the end, I'm going to be doing an Insurance Assist demo, which is our e-app, and I will be showing you how easy it is to apply for your clients. A representative for you across nationally, although I do represent Ontario. I am the RVP along with Glenn, who is my inside, but we have someone to take care of you from coast to coast. So let's get straight into the presentation right now. It's called Temporary Coverage for Contemporary Needs, helping your client get more from term life insurance. Term insurance really is the cornerstone of so many insurance solutions that you see clients today. But, the situation has changed. If you look at the beginning of the millennium, 2000, the average house cost about 163, nearly 164,000. To rent a 1-bedroom place, it was $560. If only the situation was like this today. Inflation rate, 2.72%. And, this just goes to show that Canadians' needs are constantly changing. So your typical prospects' needs are also changing. Okay, there's now the current situation is very different. We have high inflation and the high cost of housing, which means that Canadians don't have as much disposable income to spend on life insurance. Something that advisors are facing generally to get your clients to really seal the deal and clamp down and get a policy with you. Okay, but the higher housing costs have really instigated a change in the way that families live. There has been a 50% increase in multi-generational households since 2001, meaning that, you know, we have families where they're living with their parents or grandparents, or maybe the youngsters haven't moved out yet because they just can't afford it. So we've definitely seen a shift. At the same time, Canadians are having fewer children. Okay, it's expensive. We know that. And the population is mostly from newcomers. 96% of Canada's population growth in 2022 was from international migration. High figures, you can see it on the screen. 71% of Canadians agree that, you know, they want to invest or do business with sustainable consumers. And a lot of millennials and Gen Zs really do want to do business with companies that are ethical. So how can you, the advisor, succeed in today's market? Foresters has been proudly helping families 150 years. We will be 150 years old in June. And we have the financial strength to keep helping families for many years to come. As you can see on the screen, we've been voted A Excellent at AM Best Financial Strength Rating for 23 consecutive years. Our assets are recorded at 16.5 billion and a surplus of 2.1 billion. Our LICAT ratio shows on the screen at the moment as 165.6%. We had a big company team meeting last week. They stated that it is 195%, our LICAT ratio. We haven't got the full figures to put on the screens yet, but basically what the LICAT ratio measures and why it's important, it's the insurer's ability to pay out claims. We are in a very, very strong position to do that. We are in the business to pay claims. We always have been. The average LICAT ratio in the industry, FYI, is around 136 to 139%. We aren't your typical insurance company. We are fraternal by nature. And you may be wondering what's so great about fraternals. Well, they're different. A regular stock insurance company profits for shareholders. A mutual insurance company is owned by policyholders. Profits are distributed amongst policyholders. Fraternals and how they are different is that they typically operate for the benefit of their members. They engage in community service and provide benefits beyond insurance coverage. And we are really proud of Foresters to be able to do that. We are a different kind of insurer. As you know, we are fraternal by nature. And essentially, our insurance policies are just called certificates. Same thing, we just call them by a different name. By purchasing a life insurance policy with Foresters or Canada Protection Plan, because both companies are one now, your client automatically gets access to 12 complimentary member benefits. They are financial and non-financial. So when you are talking about Foresters Financial or Canada Protection Plan to your clients, you can really show value in that they can start using a range of 12 complimentary member benefits straight away as soon as their policy is approved and start saving a lot of money. Now, let's get back to the question at hand. Enough about Foresters and who we are and where we sit in the marketplace. Let's go back to addressing the contemporary needs of clients today. Term life insurance really cornerstone of so many insurance solutions. And it's through your term clients that you often build a very long relationship and offer them more products, whether it's permanent, critical illness, or investments. It's these clients that will refer you to other friends and family. So let's take a look at what term life insurance provides. It's a fixed death benefit, a fixed premium payment over a fixed period of time. Okay, at Foresters, we cover your needs from the short term, medium term to the long term in the solutions that we provide. We do provide a term 10, 20, and a term 30 in life insurance, term life insurance coverage. We can go as low as 25,000 to as much as 25 million. Okay, so we do cover from end to end. Those of you that are contracted and have done business with us and you've used our Sky quoting tool, which is our quotation, you can only quote up to 5 million in coverage on our Sky software. However, if you want to go above 5 million, because a lot of advisors do, then you need to reach out to your local RVP and RSM team. For those of you in Ontario, that is myself and Glenn, and we will request those quotes through a special quote for you, for your client, okay? So don't worry, if it's above 5 million, get in touch with your regional sales team. Just so you know that we do not have any left for up to $1 million if your client's aged up to 50, and then $500,000 if your client is aged between 51 and 55. So, I did say at the beginning, our term rates are pretty low. We have completely repriced our portfolio permanently, okay? And you can see from the screen here, for term 10 across the ages of 30 to 55, up to $1 million and beyond, fare really well. And where we are a close number 3 or 4, there's not that much of a price difference. You can talk about our complimentary member benefits to further add value to the product that you are choosing for your client and offering for your client. So if you do check us out on Life Guide or WinQuote or whichever quoting tool software that you use, reach out to us if you have any questions. If you want us to run any term quotes for you, we'd be more than happy to do that. So term 10, we really fare very well. In term 20, we fare even better. You can see majority we're at number 1 or number 2 in the marketplace. This is a standard non-smoker rate for male between the ages of 30 to 55 up to $1 million. Same story for a term 30. So those of you that are quoting term right now, do please look at Foresters and take a look at the quotes that we offer. Again, just a reminder, Glenn is taking questions on the chat. So we do have a really, really fixed agenda. So if you do have questions, keep asking them on the chat and Glenn will be able to answer those questions. And hopefully, if there's any nice juicy ones, he can let us know if we have time later. Okay. We also have joint coverage available on a joint first to die. A reduction of 5% is applied to the sum of both premiums, excluding the certificate fee to calculate the joint premium. Okay, Foresters term also provides options for the long term should your client's needs change. Okay, so we have automatic renewals without evidence of insurability up until the 85th birthday of the insured, option to exchange, and convertible to whole life with no evidence of insurability up until the age of 71. Another reason to use our term portfolio is that when it comes time to conversion, we have a very, very good par and non-par whole life product that will give you the best death benefit to premium ratio across the industry. So not only does your client get a very, very good term rate with all the member benefits complementary, but they can also convert later on to a very, very cost effective par or non-par whole life policy for permanent options. Okay, there's no way better than to explain the portfolio and what it can do for your clients than using case studies. So let's go straight into our first case study and let's meet Lisa. She's 45 years old, a female, and she's a non-smoker, a single mother with an 18-year-old daughter. The daughter is at university age and she plans to become a doctor. So she's got a long time ahead of her in school. Okay, so what's Lisa's temporary need? Lisa wants to provide financial support to her daughter in her university years, and she wants to make sure the education costs are covered if something, God forbid, were to happen to her. So after meeting her advisor, Lisa chooses to go with Foresters Financial, our Term 10 life insurance product for $400,000 of coverage with her as the beneficiary. The monthly premium is just $26.10 at the age of 45, and she doesn't have to do any paramedical or lab work. She's healthy and there's nothing wrong with her medically. So it's a great option. She also really liked the fact that she could exchange for a longer term without evidencing insurability should her needs change. So this was a great option for someone like Lisa. If you've got a client like Lisa that you're speaking to or in your pipeline, think about Foresters, because not only did Lisa get coverage, but she can also apply for our competitive scholarship, which is part of our complimentary member benefits, where the child or grandchild of the insured can get up to 10,000 of coverage, 10,000 off university fees in a scholarship. And we awarded over 300 scholarships last year. So that might be something that you want to look into. And is it easy to get access to our member benefits? Because that's what a lot of our advisors ask us. It's really easy. All you need to do the application, and your application, you just need to go into My Foresters and use your username and password to get access to your My Foresters account, where you have all the 12 member benefits at your disposal. Going back to some more features of the term life insurance portfolio, we do have preferred underwriting amounts for 1 million and more. And then we have some preferred non-smoker rates. Okay. If your client does use cigars, and up to 12 large cigars per year is still a standard non-smoker. And if your client chooses to they will get a preferred plus rate if they haven't used tobacco products in the last 5 years. Okay, talking about smokers and tobacco users, we do fare well for marijuana consumers. There are nearly 12 million in Canada now that it's legalized. Clients who use marijuana in any form without tobacco could still get non-smoker rates. Up to 3 times a week for Foresters is a standard non-smoker. Anyone that uses marijuana up to 7 times a week, they will just be subject to a plus 50 rating. New to Canada. Remember we said that a lot of people the population growth is coming from newcomers. This is a great slide for those clients that are on at Foresters Financial. We could give up to $500,000 off student visas up to their coverage. So $250,000 that is an undergraduate student or a high school student, and up to $500,000 for students in a postgraduate or professional program. And for work permit guidelines, we can give your clients up to 1 million of coverage. If they're a skilled professional, doctors, nurses, lawyers, or engineers, which many people are, they can get up to 1 million of coverage with us and up to $500,000 for other professions not listed above or unskilled laborers. You might want to scan this QR code to register for our Insurer Assist e-app. I am going to be doing a demo for face-to-face and non-face-to-face options. Our e-app is extremely easy to use and very, very easy to do. You can add up to 4 policies and 2 insureds in one application. E-signature and the option to deliver the insurance contract electronically or on paper. We'd like you to do e-apps just to make sure that we can reduce not in good order applications that really do result in unnecessary delays. Again, I'm going to be doing an Insurance Assist demo later on, but do scan this QR code if you are contracted and currently have access to Insurance Assist. Another case study for you. There is a poll right now. So those of you in Quebec, please answer this poll. Only for Quebec answers, for Quebec advisors, I believe. So let's get into the second case study, meeting Dev and Ira. They are married and recently immigrated to Canada. Again, story quite frequently. Dev is 27 and Ira is 25. Both have valid work permits and are employed as nurses. They plan to apply for permanent residency. The rent is $4,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in Vancouver. Very, very pricey out west, just like Toronto. What's their temporary need? Not surprisingly, they're on a very tight budget and they want to make sure that the surviving partner would be able to cover rent or any other expenses. But they really, really don't want to spend more than $40 per month. That's their budget. Okay, so they met with their advisor and decided that they should take out coverage for 20 years. The screen that you can see on the slide here is our Sky software where you can do quotations. You do not need to be contracted to use our Sky software. So if you like the sound of what I'm telling you and you think that there's a space for your clients to use Foresters products, you can reach out to your local sales team and they will give you access to Sky software, which is the illustration tool you can use to quote for your clients. The advisor used the solve coverage feature, which basically allows you to put a monthly amount. So if your client has a budget like Devon Era, you can use that and put that into the solve coverage, enter premium. And what it showed was they could afford to get over 400,000 in coverage in a term 20 in a joint first to die. The solve coverage feature is really only one of the many great features that's available on our Sky illustration software. And as I said before, if you don't already have it, you should install it, and you can do that. Take a quick shot of this link, and you do not need to be contracted to be able to use our Sky software. One of the many Foresters benefits deals. When their certificate is issued, Dev and Era have access to amazing discounts to help save money. The discounts are available on everyday necessities, electronics, and other online shopping opportunities. Member deals also help make family-focused activities more affordable with discounts on hotels, renting cars, theme parks, attractions, and so much more. Again, one of the complementary benefits a client gets when they get a Foresters financial policy or a Canada Protection Plan policy. So not only are our rates great, but we have some amazing built-in features that comes as part of the term life insurance contract at no additional premium. The first one is the survivor privilege. Joint first to die certificates come with a survivor privilege. If an insured person under a joint first to die policy should die, the survivor may exercise the conversion privilege within 60 days of that death without providing evidence of insurability. Okay, we will provide interim life insurance coverage on the surviving insured person for 60 days from the date of death or until a new policy has been issued under the survivor privilege. If the second insured person dies during this time of the interim life insurance coverage, we will pay a supplementary death benefit that would have been payable if a new policy had been issued under the terms of the survivor privilege, excluding riders. We also have bereavement assistance, which is made available to the beneficiaries upon the death of the insured person. There are so many impacts on your health from grief, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, physical illness. So Foresters will reimburse up to $1,000 in counseling expenses, which may help beneficiaries better deal with their grief. Again, at additional premium over and above the death benefit, this is a built-in feature. The charity benefit provision, a lot of our advisors love this built-in feature. It's not only available in our term coverage, but also in our permanent coverage as well. And later on, I'll show you just how easy it is to add on an application. What does the charity benefit provision do? Foresters pays an additional 1% of the basic insurance amount in effect on the date of death of the designated insured to a registered charitable organization as designated by the owner. The maximum payment under this provision is $100,000. It's automatically included as part of the contract at no additional premium, and the donation is eligible for a charitable tax receipt from the charity. So let's take a quick look. Client takes out a Foresters Term 20, $750,000. Upon death, Foresters pays $750,000 of death benefit plus $7,500 to a designated charity of the insured's choice. This is like application. Later on, I'll be able to show you what it looks like. On optional riders, we do have those available. Term riders, so you can add term 10, 20, 30 riders are available on the life of the person insured under the base plan, provided the term rider is less than that of the base plan. Okay, so you add an person's spouse, renewable without evidence of insurability, and the conversion and exchange privileges apply. Term riders are a really useful way of saving your clients money just by layering the coverage. A very common concept. You can see it from the screen here in front of you. For example, when you're covering a mortgage, you can layer a term 30 with a term 20 and term 10 riders. The coverage is highest at the start of the mortgage when you have more liabilities to pay, and decreases every 10 years as the term riders drop off. The coverage is always equal to or greater than outstanding mortgage amount. so your client is always protected, but the savings over time really can be quite substantial. And this is a great concept for clients who really need to cover their outstanding mortgage amount. So taking a look at the example of a male who's 40 years old, non-smoker, took out a term 30 for 800,000. The monthly premium is 138.42 per month. Over 30 years, he's nearly paid 50,000 in premiums. Now, if we were to change that coverage a little bit, give the same amount of coverage, but layer it. So by putting 441 roughly thousand in a term 30, that's the big one, a term 20 and a term 10 rider of different amounts to make it up to 800,000, you can see that the total premiums paid after 30 years by the client is nearly 16,500 less than the first option, which really goes to show how suitable layering can be for your client to ensure that they get the right coverage need. Let's move on to the optional children's term rider. Many clients don't think to cover their children, but it's a great way to protect against future uninsurability. This rider provides term insurance for each insured child between the age of 15 days up to 25 years. Premiums are payable for 20 years. A minimum face amount of 10,000 and maximum of 30,000, which is a great feature. I'm mindful of time, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. We also have rider, which is the accidental death benefit. This rider is available up until the age of 60 and provides an additional death benefit when the insured dies solely as a result of an accident causing bodily injury. The minimum amount is 10,000 and the maximum amount is lesser of the death benefit and 300,000 with all carriers. We also have a waiver of premium, and this waives the monthly premium in the event of a total disability of the insured, and it continues up until the certificate anniversary nearest the insured's 60th birthday. Available for ages up to 60. So if a monthly premium is being waived at the certificate anniversary, premium will continue to be waived while the insured remains totally disabled and the certificate remains in effect. There is a 6-month waiting period before benefits begin, during which time the premium must be paid, but premiums will be refunded once the waiver is approved. Okay, so let's go to our last case study before I do an Insurance Assist demo. Let's meet Scott and Natalie. They're in their 30s, married and both employed. They don't have any children, but they do plan on starting a family in the near future. And what they really like to do, like many their age, they want to buy from sustainable companies. But they do have a temporary need to cover. Their mortgage in Toronto is 1.1 million, but they're looking for affordable alternatives to the mortgage they. Okay, so their advisor gave them 2 options. Option 1, Foresters joint first to die, term 30, 1.1 million of coverage with each other as beneficiaries. The monthly premium was $166.27, as opposed to what the bank was offering, which was nearly $200 per month. Okay, option 2 was layering that coverage. So giving them 606,500 as a joint first to die term 30 with a 323. So the balance was in a term 20 rider and a small portion, 170,000 in a term 10 rider. And you can see the different monthly premiums. Now, option number 2 does save the client $18,610 in premiums over 30 years, as opposed to option one. So this worked really well for them. Scott and Natalie were thrilled to hear about, they were really thrilled to hear about the money that they could option. They asked to learn a bit more about foresters as they prefer to buy from sustainable companies. Sorry, I just muted. Scott and Natalie were thrilled to hear about the money they could save with option two. They asked to learn a bit more about foresters, as you know that they prefer to buy from sustainable companies. And their advisor shared some key highlights from Foresters' recent sustainability report. 460 million of Foresters' assets are in green or sustainable bonds. Foresters diverted 71% of waste from landfills in our North American offices. And we paid out nearly $5 in 2022 for enriching local communities. This really sealed the deal, and they were thrilled to be able to cover it with Foresters Financial. Again, another member benefit that everyone gets access to is LauraSure, where we provide a free online service where clients can create customized wills, power of attorney, and healthcare directives online. As you can see, nearly 60% of Canadians say they do not have a will. So when you're offering someone a solution not only to cover their life insurance needs, but tell them that they can have access to complementary member benefits like LauraSure that can start them dollars as soon as the policy is approved. Because with LauraSure, you can use it multiple times during your life, and you can also use it for your family, so yourself and your spouse. So again, before I move on to our demo, please note that you have coverage from our sales team from end to end. We are here to help you. Do connect with us at sales@cpp.ca. If you don't know who your RVP or RSM are, do check our term rates. They're extremely reasonable. Also, a little bit of news. I do have to share it because it's very, very topical. Those of you that do business with Canada Protection Plan, we've made changes to our AZ application, and we've made some questions a lot more lenient, especially diabetes, heart attack, and stroke. Get in touch with us. Check the new application out, AZ application on the Canada Protection Plan side, and you'll be extremely pleasantly surprised, especially with our stance on diabetics. So many more now can get coverage with Simplified Elite now that we've made changes to our questions. Okay, I'm going to just switch to our insurance assist now. So Glenn, you will have to let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, so far we're good.
Okay, so you can see the Now Solutions group?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so and if you are contracted, you do have access to Insure Assist. Those of you that are not and you have a first piece of business, get in touch with your regional sales team and they'll definitely be able to help you out. Those of you in Ontario, Glenn and myself, take care of you. Okay, so we do partner our e-app with Now Solutions Group. It is a third-party provider. So to register, please allow between 24 and 48 hours to get access. It's not like the CPP e-access where we can give you access straight away, although we do have our ways to get it done quickly for you should you need. Again, why do I like advisors to use our e-app? It's easy and effective to use. It eliminates any mistakes because you can't go on to the next section without fully completing each section. All the products are on one app. Our life and critical illness. And it really does save a lot of admin time should there be not in applications. So let's begin. You can see on the screen here that it says My Saved Applications. Anytime that you've done an application, it will be saved for 30 days. So you can go back in there to retrieve an application. But I want to start a brand new application. I'm an IDC advisor that's just come on the Foresters webinar, and I have a client, and I've looked at the term rates on Life Guide, and Foresters, as Zainab said, are #1. So I'm doing an app straight away with my client. I've got access to Insure Assist, and I'm going to go to Empty Session, Start Empty Session. And then I'm going to click under Foresters where it says Life. I'm going to click on Life. And then I'm just going to agree to the terms and conditions and proceed. Again, those of you that have access to Insure Assist, I would bookmark it. And what you can see straight away is that this is pretty much for application, but it's online and it reads so much better. You can see across the top, there's different sections that one needs to complete to go through the application. The first thing we're going to do is fill out the client's details. Okay, so we'll use myself, Zainab Sheikh, date of birth, 1984, female, in Ontario, and email address. Those of you that are in Ontario and don't know my email, you know it now. It's zainab.sheikh@cpp.ca. It then will ask me a few other questions. The smoking question, have I used marijuana in the last 5 years? I'm going to say no. But again, remember, if it's up to 3 times a week, it's a non-smoker, and up to 7 times a week, we can also classify non-smoker with a tiny rating. I have recently become a Canadian citizen, and here it says Foresters member. Yes, I want my member can see a use for all the complimentary member benefits. Country of birth, United Kingdom, and my status is employed. My employer is Foresters Financial, and I'm a regional VP. Length of employment time, so you can see that it's just basic information. I've created the client profile. I can also add another insured. So if me and my husband were doing the app, we could add him. We're just going to make it easy because time is not on our side. Each section needs to be validated. I will validate this section and move on to the next section. And you can see on the top here that I've already done the client profile part. Click on next. And now we're going to get some more information about the insured. Why are they getting insurance? Is it for business purposes? Are they replacing income? And a little bit more information for verification purposes. Okay, so this is not for business purposes, and I'm taking out term life insurance to replace income. I am the insured #1. I don't need a social insurance number for term, but if I was doing a permanent application, I would. I'm going to use driver's license as my method of ID. Issued in Ontario. Okay, and expiry date is 4/27. Okay, it's asking me if I'm resident in the US for tax purposes or any other purposes. No, I'm not adding a contingent owner. So you can see that very clearly it's prompting you. And up here, I've just seen that it's asking me, do I consent for electronic delivery for my insurance contract? I do, because I file everything electronically. If I didn't, then, I could add, I just say that I want a paper app, but I do want to electronically validate and move on to the next stage. where we're now going to go into the coverage amounts, okay? I'm going to click on the insured's name. It is a single life coverage. And then look, it gives me all the options because you can put term, non-par whole life, Advantage Plus, critical illness. On the same app, I could do term life, some permanent coverage with critical illness, all on one application if I wanted to. Another benefit of Insurance Assist. Keep it simple. We're doing a term plan for term 20 for outstanding obligations of 750,000. Okay, not going to add any riders. If you were doing an Advantage Plus, which is our par whole life, which has some very, very attractive death benefit to premium ratios, you would need to upload the illustration. I don't for term, but again, you can see how the e-app is literally guiding you through the application, okay? Now, talking about the charity benefit beneficiary designation, this is where I would add it, okay? By the way, if your client doesn't know, that's okay. You can add it anytime while the policy is in effect. But, you know, it's really easy to find. You can go on the government website and find access to lots of charities. I'm going to click on yes, just so you can see it. I have a special affiliation to Sick Kids. I love that charity. I'm just going to make up, for demo purposes, the registration number. I know that they are in Toronto, if I could spell, in Ontario, and the postcode in downtown is M5G2L3. Okay. And here they're really asking if you have temporary insurance coverage. So any TIA, it's only for one insured because we're only insuring one person. Here, I will generate requirements, okay? And it will be based on age and amount requirements. Now, from the information that I've given you, I am in the age, a 40-year-old female, taking out a term 20 for 750,000. I will not have any paramedicals. I'm healthy, nothing's wrong, but you can generate requirements. I'm just going to click that. By the way, if paramedicals are required, then you don't have to do all the health questions because all those questions will be done via our paramedicals. And the companies that we use are Dynacare, Exam One, and Medifast. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that I've filled absolutely everything out. So I can see here that I need to fill out the policy owner bit. That's flashing. Everything else is done. I'm going to hit validate and move on to the next section. So I've done the owner details, the coverage. Now it's going to be the client details. Okay. Client address. I will use our head office at Foresters House, and it's 789 Don Mills Road in Toronto. Postcode is M319. Okay, we will put a telephone number. Okay, and some financial information. I'm self-supporting. Annual income, let's say this client gets 50,000. Any income earned from other sources, let's say 25,000 from other sources. Any of these from RIFs, trusts, or dividends? No. Gross amount of assets, we can say 1.5 million. What's the amount of outstanding debt? My mortgage at 750,000. And in the last 5 years, have I been bankrupt? No. Has the client been bankrupt? more insurance history related questions. So we're really getting more information from the client and then going into some basic questions. I'm just going to hit no all across. Any questions yet, Glenn, while I do this?
We do have one good one, and it is they wanted to know if Insurance Assist had a practice session they could work on. And the answer to that is no, it's a live site, but what you can do is you can play with it and save the application, just don't submit it. And then when you go back into your saved apps, you'll be able to see what you've done. But again, they don't have a practice site. It is a definite live site. And that's how you can sort of play with it before you actually go face to face with the client.
That's a great question, because I mean, we've all internally done a lot of practice applications, and that's exactly the way we do it. Fill section now, we will validate and then hit next. And now I get to the medical questionnaire, where it's asking me about height and weight in feet and inches, I'll put it in, and weight in pounds, change in weight. Asking me if I have a physician. The answer is yes, you just need to put details. I'm just going to hit no because it's just easier for us. And then in the last 5 years, have you seen a regular physician? There's some basic questions about, you know, being a resident in a nursing home, any chronic illness, etc. Then some medication, drugs, and alcohol. So for the questionnaires, we do have various medical questionnaires. I'm doing an application for a healthy client, but you know, the questionnaires, the medical questionnaires that we have available are on aviation, alcohol, drug and substance abuse, activities of daily living, mental health, and respiratory disorders, just as an FYI. Okay, so we'll validate this. Please answer the highlighted questions. Okay, validate that and move on to the next set of questions. And I'm just going to hit no all along, if it will allow me. And you can just see how easy it is, because you literally cannot move to the next section until you've completed everything. I will validate this and move to the next section, where now I do not have any questionnaires to fill out. According to the answers that I've provided, I'm now going to put my beneficiary, and that will be my husband. His date of birth, and you can add many different, it will be revocable and primary. Okay, I'm going to validate that. Okay, 100% share, and then hit next. Now at this stage, I'm ready to put the payment details, and you can see that initial premium, either collect premiums on delivery, COD, or PAD, which is pre-authorized debit. I'm going to use a PAD. That's what a lot of our clients do use. A monthly PAD or annual, I'm going to use monthly, and click on Lord's name. And then I'm going to add the bank details. If you have a third party paying for the policy, you can use third party as a payer. They just need to complete the third party determination questions, okay? Which isn't that many. So let's just do that. Everything in English, please. My personal bank account. And here is where you would use any, you know, special instructions. For example, backdating to save age, and we can up to 6 months. So you can do that, or if you have any specific premium or issue instructions. I don't, so I'm going to validate this and it seems like I have missed this part to say what my bank account is. It's a checking account, and hit next. Point, I'm pretty much near the end of the application. And there's ways that you can sign. E-signatures are done in different ways. So I would generate signature requirements, and I will confirm that I've read and obtained each signature's consent on the above statement. Now, if you're present with your client, they have to sign by text. Easy enough. Everyone has a cell phone. If they're not present, then they need to sign by email. Okay. And there can be an instance where you're doing a joint policy. One of the insureds is with you and they sign by text, and the other one signs by email. That's absolutely fine. It's a fairly easy process. Okay. We're going to validate this, and I'm going to hit not present. If I can edit the section. Not present, must sign by email. Okay. And the link is valid for 3 days. So when you send the link to the client, it is valid for 3 days. I hit next. And now comes the advisor report. And here is where your details, okay? And the main thing to really note here is that at the advisor report section, it's make PDF is the last place where literally you could download the application so you can have a paper copy of it. So I would recommend that if you wanted a copy of the application before submission, do click on make PDF. After you've done the advisor report, you just submit. The client will receive an email if they're not in front of you. Said that's active for 3 days. They will review the document and make sure that everything's fine with the application form. Click I agree, and then sign. And it's as simple as that. And if you have any questions, please do let us know.
Amazing. Thanks, Zainab. That was a great presentation and a lot of value, I think, out of that. I love you walking through just the demo version, so our advisors are able to see that in real time. That's usually the biggest hurdle on that front, and I trust that everybody found that very valuable today. So that was excellent. So great job. Thank you again for coming out today and doing that. So with everybody, that'll be the close of today's presentation. But before you jump off, there's going to be another poll that should show up shortly for, again, our Quebec advisors that need to do that. The Q&A was open today. I saw a lot of our advisors utilizing that, and Glenn, great job covering that side. If you, any of you wanted to review the presentation that was just given today, just a reminder that it will be posted on our IDC Win Institute login page. So you can always go back and reference that, and we'll see about if the slides can be posted on that site as well. Otherwise, if you're not a Quebec advisor and you don't have to complete that poll, to respect your time, we'll allow you to jump off. But again, Zainab, thanks so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate your partnership as always, and we'll look
very, very welcome.
Push that with Foresters. So thanks all for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye.